long before the plagues shook Egypt, before the Red Sea split in two, before a prophet stood before the most powerful ruler on earth, there was a man wandering through the wilderness, broken, exiled, and uncertain of his future. Moses had once lived as a prince in Pharaoh's palace, wrapped in luxury, power, and prestige. But one act of justice turned his world upside down, forcing him to flee everything he knew. In the scorching heat of Midian's desert, as destiny quietly unfolded, he would encounter someone who would change his life forever. Not a king, not a warrior, but a woman, strong, wise, and courageous. Her name was Zipporah. Their meeting was no coincidence. It was the beginning of a story where love and divine purpose intertwined.
The Lord has truly blessed our journey, Zipporah.
He provides for us even in this wilderness, my love.
This is the untold story of Moses and Zipporah. In the scorching wilderness between Egypt and Midian, where the desert wind howls like a forgotten prophecy, a lone figure walks beneath the burning sun. His name is Moses, once a prince in the palace of Pharaoh, raised among gold and power, trained in wisdom and war. Now he is a fugitive, stripped of royal robes, carrying nothing but the weight of his past and the uncertainty of his future. He has fled the might of Egypt, leaving behind everything he once knew, because in one single moment, when he defended a Hebrew slave and struck down an Egyptian, the eyes of Pharaoh turned against him. With fear in his heart and destiny at his heels, Moses runs into the unknown. Days turn into nights. The wilderness becomes both his refuge and his test. Then, exhausted and thirsty, he arrives at a well in the land of Midian. There, he sees a group of women, 7 daughters of Jethro, the priest of Midian, trying to draw water for their father's flock. But as they work, a band of rough shepherds swoop in, pushing them aside, claiming the water for themselves. Moses watches for only a moment, then steps forward. This man, once trained in Pharaoh's courts, now uses his strength for justice in a foreign land. He drives the shepherds away with authority and courage, and then, in an act of quiet kindness, he draws water for the women himself. For the first time in many days, the prince in exile becomes a defender once more. When the daughters return home earlier than usual, their father Jethro is surprised. They tell him of the stranger. "An Egyptian delivered us from the shepherds," they say. Jethro immediately invites Moses into his home, and there, around a humble fire, Moses meets Zipporah, strong, graceful, wise. She is not a woman of luxury, but of quiet strength, a shepherdess, a daughter, a woman of faith. In the flicker of firelight, something stirs between them. Not a fleeting glance, but the meeting of 2 paths woven by divine hands. In the days that follow, Moses finds a place among Jethro's family. He eats their bread, tends their flocks, learns their ways, and in time, he takes Zipporah as his wife. There is no royal procession, no golden crown. Their marriage is forged in the wilderness, simple, pure, and destined. Years pass. Moses, once the prince of Egypt, now walks the humble path of a shepherd. But destiny does not sleep. One ordinary day, as he leads his flock to the far side of the wilderness, he sees something that stops him in his tracks. A bush engulfed in flames, yet not consumed. As he approaches, a voice echoes from the fire, "Moses, Moses!" Trembling, he answers, "Here I am." And from that burning bush, God reveals his plan. The time has come to deliver his people from bondage. The fugitive will return to confront Pharaoh. The shepherd will become a prophet. Moses is chosen, and with Zipporah by his side, he prepares for the journey back to the land he once fled. But the road to destiny is not without trials. On their way to Egypt, something mysterious happens. At a lodging place along the journey, the Lord confronts Moses, for he has neglected to uphold a sacred covenant. A shadow of death falls over him, and in that critical moment, Zipporah rises. With courage and decisive faith, she takes a flint knife and circumcises their son, then touches Moses' feet with the blood, saying, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." Her act is swift, bold, and prophetic. In that moment, death passes over Moses, Zipporah's obedience saves his life. She is not merely his wife. She becomes his shield, his partner in destiny, the woman who stood between divine judgment and the chosen deliverer. This is not just a love story. It is a story of courage in the wilderness, of a man who lost everything to find his true calling, and of a woman whose strength and faith stood firm when the heavens themselves demanded action. Moses would go on to stand before Pharaoh, to part the Red Sea, to lead a nation. But before the miracles, before the plagues, before the 10 Commandments, there was Zipporah, the woman at the well, the bride of the wilderness, the warrior of faith. Their meeting was no accident. It was destiny written in the sands of time. And through their union, God began a story that would change the world forever. Their journey was only the beginning. From a well in Midian to the throne room of Pharaoh, Moses and Zipporah walked a path shaped by courage, faith, and divine destiny. Through love, obedience, and sacrifice, God prepared them for a purpose greater than themselves. And their story still echoes through time, a reminder that even in the wilderness, destiny can find you.